you and I
after a
obviously
year
first, and then
together,
I don't have an intro for Andrew. I mean, do you want to?
He's on.
The It's Your Business show is brought to you by Promo Experts. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture with marketing promotion tools and services. And by Publishing Concepts. Let Publishing Concepts LLC help you get your publishing project off the ground. It's Your Business is an informative weekly small business topic radio show for you listeners to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to owning and operating your very own small business. Whether you're starting your own business or already a successful entrepreneur, then listening to how others succeed can help you be successful. Okay, audience, here are your hosts, Dr. Stan Fine and Jim Jump.
Hey, good Saturday or good.
And to his left is Andrew Tesmer. And so they are the BeerSauce guys. And so before we kind of let them show and tell, and this is like a school outing, we're going to do a little show and tell.
Right.
That's, I think kids still know what that is. And but let me go back for a minute. So Rick and I are from Lindenwood together back around 2010. Rick was the owner of the Book Exchange, and that was a bookstore on the campus of Lindenwood University. And so that was for how many years, Rick, did you operate there?
I think 14 years was our length,
Wow.
And we ended up with 4 stores in 3 different states,
Yes.
all with university contracts, which
Yeah.
is really, I think, something we can be proud of. It's hard to get those contracts with the universities.
Yes. And
Really?
Rick is also connected to Lindenwood. The DeRee Center is part of our entrepreneur center that was developed, probably 10 years ago,
Yeah.
roughly. Plaster School of Business and Entrepreneurship, which brought us kind of into the market with something that schools were all figuring out. Remember, if you remember those times?
Yeah, oh
And
yeah.
Lindenwood hadn't figured it out,
Really?
and we were really kind of behind on offering those kinds of courses and that whole entrepreneur degree. And so that did finally happen. You and I were kind of part of that too. And so our connections back to Lindenwood really allowed us to do a lot of things. And quite honestly, the Book Exchange was neat to see because you were operating right on campus, so that was a good connection. And then you and I did some things such as the St. Louis Regional Entrepreneur Educators. It was an
Right.
organization where we met monthly with all the local colleges, and we talked about entrepreneurship programs.
You had to reach out into the community and help people. That's a big part of what entrepreneurship is. I call it there's the doing what you need to do to make your money and build your business, and then you can take that resource and you can invest in the community and serve people. So it's a big give and get in that community. It makes me happy.
Right, right. And then, and likewise, the connections we made with all the local schools, what programs they were running, and how they were continually developing those was important. And I think that really made everybody's programs better, and that was something we were a part of. You also wrote a book called The Entrepreneur's Bible, and I thought that was a good place where you put all your kind of thinking out loud thoughts, right? Because it was really a lot of that, just the Bible on the kind of the do's of entrepreneurship. And
Yeah.
as you were writing that, what would you tell the audience where a lot of that came from? Just being the entrepreneur? Well, how would you describe that?
Well, what I say is when you're going through life and you have an epiphany or you have a life experience that makes sense, write it down. Keep track of it. And basically, the book, The Entrepreneur's Bible, 52 Proverbs of Profit.
I noticed that.
It has 52 different proverbs of life experience that I went through, and each one is maybe 3 or 4 pages, pretty approachable, and it tells you about a story that happened in my life and what I learned from it. And you can apply that same kind of proverb in your entrepreneurial endeavors. So it's a book that we hope will be used by high school kids and early college kids, so they can be able to really get an understanding of how things apply in real life, not in some kind of theoretical. Because
Right.
the Drew Center for entrepreneurship is all about real world and real life, and that's why we're here in this meeting. Is we're all doing it. You guys are doing this great show, and Andrew and I moving BeerSauce Shop forward. And it's all about doing, not about sitting around and thinking about
Right,
it. You got to
right.
get out there and do it.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, Andrew, as you two became partners, can you talk about that for a minute? How
How
did
did
you
that
two?
come to be that you two guys
Yeah.
came together?
Yeah, Rick brought up the Entrepreneur's Bible. That's really where it came about. So I was a newspaper editor at the time. Worked with the publisher of the book, Alvin. Did some marketing work with Alvin, and Rick linked up, and we started talking about beer. That was one of the first things that was brought up, actually, funny enough. So there's another story there, but we won't go into that one. But really working with Rick creatively, and then he started Accelerate, which was kind of an electronic version of what entrepreneurs do, connect people, right?
Right.
So that's really the jumping off point.
Yeah.
And from there we said, I think we should go from selling technology and entrepreneurship to beer and sauce. It's an obvious
Kind of a leap.
Right. It's
Right. See, guys, we got work to do. No doubt there. And what else should we know about you, Andrew, as far as your background goes?
Yeah,
St.
so-
Louis guy, right? All those great
St.
things.
Louis, St. Peter's, went to Fort Zumwalt West. Obviously, you have to say that when you're from St. Louis.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you got to know what high school you went
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So have marketing, business, and journalism background. Started Citra Communications. So Citra is a hop. It's always been about beer since the beginning. It all kind of led me to this. So I did some work for local breweries. A friend of mine who was actually my graphic designer at the newspaper. We started a magazine called Craft Tap Quarterly, which was bringing together the craft beer community in St. Charles County, which at one point was written off as a craft beer desert by one of the craft beer beat writers with the Post back in the early mid 2000s. So we really wanted to revitalize that, and I think now, fast forward 10 years later, BeerSauce is kind of the center of that, and we like to support all of our local folks. So Rick was a big sauce guy. I love the beer, hence our names.
Yeah.
And so we kind of said, what could we do with our passions and still make a financially viable business, and BeerSauce is what we came up with.
And so this literally came out of just that kind of a conversation, because this didn't exist, correct?
Well, entrepreneurs have lulls. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you're thinking about what your next step is. And for me, I was down in New Orleans, which I do really like New Orleans. Great
I
town.
do too. I almost moved there. It's a neat town.
Yeah, we went to some live jazz. We had some amazing steaks, good seasonings, and all the spices. They have shops down there where you can go in and taste all the sauces and really know what you're buying before you pick it out.
I like that.
I'd never experienced a place where you could actually taste all these sauces before you buy. And so I'd had a fridge already full of sauce. My wife was really furious that I had this sauce fridge. Andrew might have had the beer fridge, but I had the sauce fridge. And you buy these sauces because the label looks cool. You get them home and they all taste the same. It's not really that special. And you're like, I've been duped. I've been duped, messed up a little bit by the labeling, and I don't really like that. So I come back to Andrew. I'm like, wait a second. We need to get a tasting room. That's the game.
That's
People
right.
want to have experience and taste something.
They do that with wines.
Yeah,
exactly.
right. Same idea. That
Yeah.
let me
What
decide.
a clever idea.
Right.
What a clever
Absolutely.
And then
idea.
if I like it, hey, it's going home with me today, right? And so
You know,
that's the right
it's
concept.
really important we tell the audience that we promote entrepreneurs. And these guys are on the fast track. And Jim said, you got to have these guys on because it's growing out there. Hey, we're doing shows nationwide. And somebody may be in New Orleans right now and goes,
Right.
I want to do what those guys do.
Absolutely.
So we're not going to let you get out of here without telling the people how to get to you.
That's
too.
right.
Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
part of
welcome.
today's show will be letting them know if this is something they've been thinking about or
Right.
now didn't really realize. And I think that's more what today's show is all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not knowing this is now something that is here in St. Louis and growing. Wow, I might want to be a part of that. So I
You
think
know,
that's a good
right.
thing.
We didn't. I wasn't sure I got the answer. How did you guys physically meet? Were you in the same industry, or were you at an event? What happened to get you two
So
together?
we're both Lindenwood people. I
Oh, okay.
graduated. Obviously, Rick is quite a bit older than I am.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll come back to that. So you were
So
an
I
undergrad
was an undergrad at Lindenwood. Went on to be the newspaper editor for Community News, which services North County and St. Charles County. Was doing that. Also worked with a local artist and designer who helped Rick with his book, and that's really what kind of brought us together.
Was that Zamudo? Is that what?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, one of the things that makes me think about when you mentioned his name is when I did my show at Lindenwood for about 10 years, I had Rick and Ralph Fremmer and Zamudo all on the show, and that was like here's what you should know if you're really thinking about entrepreneurship,
I saw
because
that
all three
show.
of these
It's a good
guys,
show.
we're just as good as you could get as far as
Right.
here's what you have to make sure of before you go and say, oh, I can do this. Because that's really part of what I think people think they already know enough, and I think that's maybe a misconception. Don't you agree with that? That sometimes they just think, oh, I can do that.
Well, that's the
and they
energy,
don't
you know. That's where it comes from. If you feel like you can do it and you have that spirit, you know, you have that backing, it's going to drive you forward. If you don't have that, and you really can't teach that at college.
You're right. You're right.
You have to be naturally gumption, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ralph has that for sure, and he taught me a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean Ralph is the example, and I had that one show I did with Ralph, and I just sat there going, if anybody really wants to see where you are moving in this world, this guy was that example. And as he would sit there and explain, here's now what my role keeps changing, and here's now what I have to try to do to move my business along. And isn't that what you also are experiencing right now?
Oh, 100%. I mean, and I like that. That's the excitement about entrepreneurship for me. Is I want to move every 18 months to 2 years. I want a new role. I want something new,
Yes.
something exciting. I don't want to know what I'm doing the next day.
Yes.
We've learned now. That's the hardest thing as an entrepreneur.
Because, well,
Sometimes you want to know what you're doing.
And that's the hardest thing is putting in the calendar.
Yeah.
What's on
Right.
the agenda
Yes,
for tomorrow?
right.
What are we going to do? Sometimes that's the hardest thing is identifying the problem, identifying what you need to do.
Exactly.
let me do this. I'm going to read a article of an opening you had in Kansas City because it kind of will do a decent job explaining what happens when a new location for you is going to be then being placed in a market, and this is in Kansas City. So this was written back in May, and of course you guys are already a part of the article based on the interview by Katie. Weddle of the Martin City Telegraph. This was May 11th, 2021 in Kansas City. So have you ever wished you could taste your beer or barbecue sauce before you bought it? Co-founders Rick DeReed, known as the Sauce Guy, and Andrew Tesmer, known as the Beer Guy, are ready to let customers sample products before they buy them at the BeerSauce shop. New location at 1219 West 103rd Street. The shop opens Thursday, May 13th, with a grand opening planned for May 28th. Almost 5 years ago in the making, BeerSauce is about to make Kansas City its fourth Missouri location, which is good. This is good information. In mid-May, having set up previous stores in the St. Louis area. The shop's product lines will include over 500 craft beers, over 50 whiskeys, as well as over 250 artisan sauce and rubs. The differentiation about our shop was that it was going to be retail focused with flavor aspect, explained DeRee. You could buy the prepackaged items, but you could also enjoy a pour at the bar. Soon after, we added our full barbecue menu with pulled pork, brisket, burnt ends, barbecue nachos, and more. Originally from St. Charles, DeRee and Tesmer worked with local independent craft breweries to collaborate on new recipes, and we're going to be talking about that in a minute. Approximately 75% of beers available at BeerSauce Shop are either new or seasonal beers that people haven't seen in over a year. We currently produce 18 to 24 collaboration beers annually, says Tesmer. We are excited to work with some new Kansas City breweries, and we're still solidifying those, but we think folks will be really happy with the new ones we selected. So what comes out of that is how you would go into a market and collaborate and work with what is already there, correct?
Collaboration is the game for us.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to our barbecue menu, we have our meat produced by local competition barbecue teams. When it comes to our sauces, we work with the farmers markets and the mom and pop shops, and we bring in flavors from the region. And maybe they have one or two great sauces or rubs, but they're not ready to go full on at the grocery store, where we can find the right flavors, and we're going to find the right ones. And we put it in our shop, and we can mass produce it, make them some money, get the customers to find these great small batch local flavors. And on the beer side, like you said, collaborate with local breweries, make some new concoctions, new brews that really kind of accentuate what's current and new in the market of craft beer.
And so you don't even know what that is. I mean, as you moved into Kansas City.
Well, Andrew doesn't know what he's doing tomorrow. He almost said that.
That's right. How would he know what were going to be the new products? No, but I guess the point being is that is really you and that market saying, here's what we think we like, but what else could we do? And there becomes new ideas.
When people
and that's
go
really
to
driving the business,
yeah,
right?
when people go to a
yes.
salon, it's like a boutique, right?
Yep.
So here's the boutique of whiskeys, beers,
Exactly.
ribs, and food. So it's kind of eclectic. It's
Very much.
So you're not just going, let's go to the normal place. This isn't a normal place,
Exactly.
but it's going to let you have new experiences.
Yes.
And that's what
And
And that
big
is
deal.
it, the
it's
experience.
experiential shopping. And
Yeah.
that's where it's going.
Great marketing
You,
word.
you
Yeah.
Great
can't
marketing.
get that experience. You can't walk up to a sauce bar at your computer on Amazon. You
No.
can't. Bezos is crushing it, but we found something different,
Yes.
something that's fun that I don't
And
think.
isn't that interaction
Yeah.
really, you're learning just as much as they're learning, because
Absolutely.
that exchange is taking place. You don't know who's walking in the door and what they're bringing with them. And
Right.
so I think that's the excitement, right? That, to your point, you don't even know what the next day is going to hold, because it's all part of who's going to be there and where you're at and what that whole day unfolds like. And so as we look at this pretty nice
Great.
list here,
Sure.
where is the when you look at the products that you offer, is there something that tends to do better as far as sales go, or does that just really the market kind of dictates that? And what I mean by that is, are sauces really heavy right now over beers because people have really maybe, I won't say saturated, but there's
Yeah.
really a lot out there.
And Rick has a good explanation for
Yeah.
this.
Every region has their own. We've noticed this is our fifth store actually opening up in Creve Coeur this fall. Every region has a population that wants something. In Kansas City, when we opened up there, the food was flying. In our St. Peter's original store, the craft beer is flying. In our Sunset Hills, South County, St. Louis store, the whiskeys are flying.
Yeah, see, that was my question, because
Yeah.
you just don't know what people are what's going to drive them to.
Well, this is the beauty
products.
of BeerSauce Shop is that we have these. I call them four legs to the stool. You have your craft beer, you have your craft whiskey, and your beer bar. You have your artisan sauces, and you have your artisan barbecue. You have all these different focuses on business and flavor that a customer can come in and love barbecue, but not really like it with all the sauce. Maybe they like rub. Or maybe they come in, they're a big craft beer person, but they don't drink the whiskey. Like my wife, she doesn't like whiskey. So
That's okay.
yeah, I don't hold it against her. Everybody has their own flavor desires, and that's we're a flavor experience. You taste before you buy, and you really find the one that makes sense to you.
Well, before we showcase the products, we have a couple of commercials to play. It won't take long, and then we'll jump in and you can begin showcasing all this.
Oh, yeah.
All right, buddy Scott, our producer, cut to our commercial.
Commercial Energy Consultants is a 10-year-old national company focusing on middle to large commercial accounts. CEC offers these companies services by lowering their electric and natural gas rates. CEC does not charge for this service and has over 10,000 happy clients with almost 2 billion kWh/therm under contract. What makes CEC different is their reverse auction. Commercial Energy Consultants offers a way to have available suppliers in 17 states bid openly for your energy business. Our mission is clear: bring our clients the low bid for their energy consumption. In fact, because our competitive auction does renew an energy contract without talking to us, why pay more for the exact same power? For more information, go to www.trycec.com or call 877-212-1400. That's www.trycec.com or call 877-212-1400.
Too late, you're hacked. Defending Your Small Business Computers and Networks is a new book written for small businesses with a limited understanding of IT with cybersecurity challenges. This book introduces critical IT terms and concepts and is intended for owners or professionals handling their business IT department with narrow expertise. Even though one may think cybersecurity is taken care of, understand that cybersecurity requires ongoing management and knowledge that extends beyond the everyday IT. Businesses are vulnerable and may permanently close within 6 months after a breach by failing to understand and implement proper cybersecurity defenses. Author Tony Zafropoulos is a systems computer expert of 10+ years and a certified information systems auditor. Tony uses his strong IT background to protect your computers and networks against cyber attacks. To order your book, go to fixvirus.com. That's fixvirus.com.
The It's Your Business Show is brought to you by Promo Experts. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture with marketing promotion tools and services. And by Publishing Concepts. Let Publishing Concepts LLC help you get your publishing project off the ground. It's Your Business is an informative weekly small business topic radio show for you listeners to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to owning and operating your very own small business. Whether you're starting your own business or already a successful entrepreneur, then listening to how others succeed can help you be successful. Okay, audience, here are your hosts, Dr. Stan Fine and Jim Jump.
The 1,200,000 women and men of Rotary have accomplished extraordinary things. They've taught millions of people to read, worked toward world peace, and have nearly eradicated a crippling childhood disease in the face of the planet. But each of those 1,200,000
Yes.
women
All right.
much more.
Okay, audience, welcome back.
1,200,001. Find out what an impact one person can make. Learn about
Play the
Rotary
commercial.
at Rotary.org.
And we're getting that.
Commercial Energy Consultants is a 10-year-old national company focusing on middle to large commercial accounts. CEC offers these companies services by lowering their electric and natural gas rates. CEC does not charge for this service and has over 10,000 happy clients with almost 2 billion kWh/therm under contract. What makes CEC different is their reverse auction. Commercial Energy Consultants offers a way to have available suppliers in 17 states bid openly for your energy business. Our mission is clear: bring our clients the low bid for their energy consumption. In fact, because our competitive auction does renew an energy contract without talking to us, why pay more for the exact same power? For more information, go to www.trycec.com or call 877-212-1400. That's www.trycec.com or call 877-212-1400.
All right, audience, welcome back. You are listening to the It's Your Business Show, and here we are with Rick DeRee and Andrew Testimer. Right, Andrew? We got that right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And whoever this guy's name is on the left here. Oh, Jim Jump, we got him. I know who he is.
I'm usually here every week.
I wake up in the morning, I go, where's Jim Jump, right? And he's there. But no, we're really delighted to have you guys. We're on nationwide on the My Genre Radio Network, 9 to 11 every day. St. Louis, we're here, 9 to 11. Over 100,000 listeners now in St. Louis, and there may be a potential franchise person out there.
That's our hopes, is
So
that somebody's going to really fall in love with, I can
Exactly.
do this as my own business, right?
Yeah, so why don't we...
That's our hopes.
Let you
Well,
guys
it's your
take-
business.
Yeah.
That's right. We hope it is.
I was looking at private jets the other day, and I think they say it's the fly-by-wire and take the wheel. So why don't we let you take the wheel and fly
Yeah,
this
just-
plane through this
that's right.
journey here and tell us about what you want to tell us about.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think we're starting with sauce, so I'll let the sauce guy take it away.
Sure.
The sauce guy, all right.
Yeah, so we started out with, it must have been something like 200 sauces and rubs and glazes and pickles and barbecues and condiments, trying to get all the different kinds of sauce departments covered. And we went through, I guess I probably tasted almost 2,000 sauces and rubs now. And we decided to work with only a handful. Maybe we have, I think, 180 or 200 that we have under our BeerSauce brand. And the reason that that's important is when our customers came in, and that's what about business, you have to listen to the customer. They're the ones who are right.
Yeah.
They come in, they say,
Couldn't be more true.
what do you have that's great? And I showed them this amazing Carolina, and they go, no, but what do you have under your brand? And so I had to walk over to my brand, to the BeerSauce brand, and say, well, these are the flavors that we bring in. And the reason that that's an important distinction is customers want to come to your shop and they want to get what you think is the best, not what they can also get from a different place.
Makes
So,
sense.
so with us doing the sauces under our brand, we have 180, 200 of them all over the region.
Wait a minute, how many sauces do you have?
180, 200.
And when you
something
say
like
you
that.
tasted about 2,000,
Right.
who else helped you decide on
Right.
what stays and what goes?
So primarily it's my decision. I get influence. Andrew gives
He's
me
the
a lot.
sauce guy.
He's the sauce
He's the
guy.
sauce
That's
guy.
what that means.
And he's done really well. But yeah, we worked together in the early days. I mean, we must have together tasted 1,000 sauces and
Right.
lots
Wow.
of Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, really.
Lots of heartburn too. But
Now, when you do what you just did, do you have a general idea what the makeup of that is?
Well, so I'll walk you through it. When you come in the shop, we have all our tasters out for all of our sauces, and you taste the sauce raw.
so we call it the sauce bar. Very inventive.
Okay. Yeah, right,
We
right.
actually have the dueling bars with the sauce bar and the beer bar, and so it kind of goes.
How do you get people to leave is my question. I mean, when you're
Yeah, do
sitting
they
up
leave?
there with sauces
Last
everywhere.
call for alcohol.
Yeah, and you got beer coming too.
Well, a lot of people tease, and we'll get into this later. They call it a man cave, but really, you know, as Rick, 40% of our audience is female in the shop,
Which
So
is crazy.
it's-
Yeah,
everybody
It is.
appreciates good flavor, and that's
Yeah.
really cool to see.
Great. That's a great comment.
And we have a
because
family
that's important.
atmosphere. You know, you
Yeah.
want to have a place where you can bring your kids, which you can bring them,
Yeah.
and taste sauces. We have craft soda department as well, which is big.
Neat.
Root beer on draft, which I'm a
Wow.
huge fan
I
of.
love root beer.
So-
If you've noticed the retro theme, I think it was because I was watching too much Mad Men at the time. But you know, you go back to the 1950s and
Yeah.
early 60s, those traditional family values. What are you doing? You're barbecuing it at
Yes,
the new
right.
home with the white picket fence
Yep.
with the kids.
Yep.
They're drinking a root beer.
Exactly.
Dad's having a beer.
Beer,
You
yep.
know, mom's having a cocktail. You know,
Mhm.
and that's what we want to bring in. And yeah, kids are welcome. We're not a sports bar. We're not a bar where you're doing shots. We have a bar, yes, but we're not a bar. We're
Yes.
something unique.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very
yeah.
unique.
The family part changes everything.
Yeah,
Right.
people come in the door and they take 5 or 6 steps forward and they stop and look around because it's not what you'd expect, because you expect a dusty liquor store or
Sure.
a
Yes,
regular
right.
dark barbecue restaurant with dark
Right,
lighting or a
right.
bar scene.
Couple of deer head up on the wall.
Right,
and,
right,
you know.
yeah, the old hunting cabin feel,
But we do 50s fun, colorful, bright retail and tasting.
and even down to the music on the. We're getting a little bit into the branding, but down to the music, we played upbeat 50s music. Literally, you can't be upset with that upbeat. I mean, look at America at that time. We were booming.
Yes.
Let's
we
go
were.
back to those times. Like that was
Right.
that was great times.
Yeah.
You can't not
but
be
but family,
happy.
community,
Sure.
that was really
Yeah.
the state of how community felt, and
Absolutely.
that's a tough one to pull off now.
Yeah.
And so I think when you feel that, you know what that is, because you don't always
So
get that.
today
Yeah.
you got a lot of sauces in the
Sure.
store.
Yeah.
How many sauces do you have in the store? You only brought 4 or 5 today.
Yeah, we brought a little smattering, of all the different styles. But
Some of our favorites, some that happen to be
Sure, well,
in
why
the
don't you-
sauce fridge. I'm
So
sure.
we're going to make the audience hungry. Why don't you tell
Yeah,
them
Yeah.
about
Well,
it?
we were teasing them.
Andrew just poured out the cherry moonshine. So we do have a whiskey series of sauce. We also have a beer series of sauce where the sauce is made and we put whiskey or clear whiskey, sometimes moonshine, into the sauces, and it gives us that kind of a little bit of a sharp flavor with the moonshine. If it's bourbon we put in for our bourbon infused,
Do we have something we can dip on that?
Oh,
Like
my
a meat or something there?
then it
We got
gives
some
a-
ribs.
yeah.
Should we grab one?
Pass
or-
out the ribs. This is the
Yeah,
cherry
grab one.
moonshine.
I don't want to make it fall. I don't think I can do this
Here, I
safely.
got it.
This is the cherry moonshine. This is going to have, and you can see
That
it.
is so
It's
good.
really
I'm
good.
tasting now. I can taste the
So-
cherry
so
flavor. I just
chick
barely up my
thick-
That is really, really good.
Sorry.
So would you sell it in that size?
Yeah, so we sell it in the big guy. So this is actually a whiskey bottle. This is something.
So what would the size that roughly run you for
It's
that?
$14.95 retail.
That's all?
All of our sauces are buy 3 get the 4th one free.
That's
as
all
well.
you're going to pay for that?
Yep.
And if you buy 3 get one
Kidding me.
free, I mean the price obviously as an average comes down to like 12 something. It's a good deal.
Buy one, say that again?
Buy 3 get the 4th
Oh, buy
one free.
three. Okay.
So
Got to do a little quantity.
Absolutely.
Take more with you, and we'll give you a little better price. Yeah.
And the unique thing, we did bring some hot sauces. We do have some hot sauces. Originally, we were leaning more heavily
Boy,
towards.
that's good.
That's good
Isn't that
sauce.
isn't that
That's
tasty?
great sauce.
It's got a.
Wow.
You can feel that cherry kick to it. It's really good.
It's got about a half a pound of fresh sweet cherries per gallon. So
Oh, that's
it's a,
I'm
it's
from
a ton of
Michigan,
cherries.
which Cherry
yeah.
Fest every year in Traverse
Absolutely.
City. Yeah, that would play
This
well.
This is one of my favorites. So
We don't slow down. We're going to keep going sauces.
So
That's
this
right.
this was the last one that we added to the
We're all
big
about
bottle whiskey
sauces.
series. So that was the most recent. This was one of our original
Oh, thank you.
original 3. This
What do
is
you mean? This
the,
is?
the Carolina
Thank you.
Moonshine
Now, which
Buster.
one is
When you
that?
say original 3,
So actually, funny story was out at Stumpy's Distilling
Oh
in
my
Columbia,
God.
Illinois. That
Okay.
was outstanding.
you even had these in review. This is your first experience.
yes.
Isn't that?
That's
Yeah.
It's
Where have I been?
outstanding.
You've been in Alton.
I know.
I gotta get
Are you
down
coming
to
out to Alton?
Boy, it's not real
I
tart.
wanna
The
come.
sauces
Oh.
are mild.
Fairview Heights, probably.
Okay, well then, my son lives
You taste
10
this other
minutes
one,
from
Jim?
the big exit there.
This one is
so
mild. What is
That's
this called
really
again?
good.
This is called.
Josh Jones could be one of your best customers.
This is beer sauce, whiskey,
Oh no,
Carolina
serious.
Moonshine.
Carolina
Wait till I tell him
moonshine,
what
mustard
we did
sauce.
today. He'll be
But it's not like burn your
Jealous.
mouth kind of. But it's got a nice flavor. You can get it.
The thing about Carolina mustard, and this is again important because it's regionally focused. So in St. Louis, there's not a huge Carolina mustard following. I mean,
Okay.
it's
Right.
massive in North and South Carolina. I went out to Myrtle Beach. All they had was Carolina mustards, and it was great on their pork, pulled pork. It was wonderful. But St. Louis just isn't that region. We're more of a sweet barbecue sauce family here. We do a little bit of everything, but we're more toward the sweet side. So we have this Carolina mustard base, but it's more of a candy mustard instead of a vinegar mustard.
Yeah, I
up front.
like that. It is. It's good.
And then the moonshine comes in at the end, gives you a little bit. You called it heat, maybe a little bit, but it wasn't. It's actually that moonshine bite. That's in that. It's a tiny bit of a burn. So you have that sweet and that heat complement, which is kind of our branded combo. And when it comes to our rub, which we have right here, our number one rub, Uncle Ed's Sweet Heat Rib Rub.
And the rib rub's actually what's on this base.
Oh, okay.
So when you cook the product, you put the rub on it's on the pit.
Like on our barbecue menu, for instance, or if you're cooking at home.
Either way.
Okay, so I made these ribs the other day. and I put down a little base layer of actually our hopped up habanero mustard. So it's a nice binding agent. So I laid that down and then hit it heavy on the meat side with the Uncle Ed's rib rub, which actually was entered in the Kansas City Royal Barbecue competition. So it was listed top. It was listed
top
pretty,
10 in our division.
Top 10
There's
in
so many
spicy rub.
applicants.
How do these sauces? You were competing with these sauces too.
Oh yeah, and we also had the the St. Louis Barbecue Society, their number one brisket team used one of our sauces on their brisket as well. So we try to get out there in the competition scene a little bit. But the most important thing isn't winning a trophy. The most important thing is when you have it in your shop and the family's there tasting it, and they do what you just did, which is like, whoa, this is amazing. That's what we want. We want them to be able to try it raw right there, because we can't serve it on free food all day long. We have to give them something we can do in the shop.
Yeah.
So they're tasting it raw right there, and they can get the full experience of that flavor, what that is. And if it's their cup of tea, they're going to grab one, and they're going to say, you know what, I have another 150 to try here. I'm going to grab 3 or 4 to buy the fourth for free.
Yeah,
Works really well.
no.
So we just now are tasting the
we're in the sauce part of the
hot
store.
sauce. What's
So this is T
Yeah.
Malice. This is kind of an interesting one.
This is good.
T Malice
Yeah, it
is a Haitian style sauce.
Which one is that? Now,
right,
Andrew?
This one. It's
So
got a
that's-
little bit of heat to
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
and it's not gonna.
No, it's good.
Make
It's
you
great.
cry. I
Something
mean,
for
yeah.
your breakfast burrito in the morning. Your eggs.
Yeah,
It's great.
yes.
Great in the evening.
Yeah.
I like it on wings. I do some fresh grilled wings. Toss it in that when we're finished. But T Malice is actually like a prankster god in the Haitian folklore. So it's kind of a fun story behind it. But the flavors are outstanding.
If you can, the camera may not be able to see that from here, but if you could, it's very viscous. You have fibers from the peppers. We're not doing sauces where you take a little bit of cayenne and tons of vinegar and call it, whatever you.
Not naming any names.
Yeah,
Right.
You wouldn't do that, Andrew. You just wouldn't do that. No.
We're not doing that. We're not doing the cayenne and vinegar and done. This is real crushed and pureed peppers. It's a gourmet sauce, and it's just beautiful. It even shines in the light. A lot of our products, including our wing sauce here,
Which
you look at it,
I just
you can
wing
see how
sauces to me are just
All the pieces in there.
you got to have
It
one close all
it
the time.
shimmers. It
Because
shimmers.
the minute
Absolutely.
food, you got to have.
What does that
Yeah,
sauce do? That one you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
held up. What's that about? Show it to the camera. Okay, here's the camera.
So this is Wicked Wing Sauce. We're just blowing through these flavors. At the shop, come on down and you can try any of 100 and whatever's in the shelf. However many we have that day.
Do people actually taste the sauce and then go to a table and order some food then because they're so darn hungry from your
Absolutely, yeah. We kind of, and that's the interesting thing is
I like that, the way
business
you do
evolved so much.
Yeah.
Since the first day we opened
Got it.
in St. Peter's, it was.
And that's what 5 years ago, right?
So we started with the concept 5 years ago. We've been open just over 4 years at our first location.
So for our audience, we're talking about business, entrepreneurship, retail store. How did you write a business plan? How did you put together what 5 years now later it wasn't? You know what I mean by that?
Sure.
So you hadn't done it yet, and you had to really kind of take the time, think
Right.
through it, to some level, and then say, okay, this is our store now.
Do you want us to pass that back so you can grab another piece here?
Oh, what the heck! So,
Yeah, really.
so-
Oh, okay.
I'll credit a lot of that to Rick. His financials are good, and that was really the first thing that we looked at was, is this financially viable?
Right.
After we had a slight idea of what the heck the general concept was.
Yes,
The first thing,
correct.
is this viable?
Yes.
It's not. We weren't getting into this because it was fun. Now that was part of it, but we weren't going down a path that wasn't going to potentially have return.
So
for
another
the-
question, though.
Yeah.
In most cases, there's something out there like what you're going to do,
That's true.
right?
Is there
So
something
you're
that's
never,
like-
so you're not
Exactly.
totally afraid because you know it already kind of
Yeah,
exists. So
someone
you're
did it,
feeling like, okay, we know this is now just going to be our version of it,
Sure.
but didn't exist, right?
Well,
For the most part,
Well,
Not like
elements, of it
elements, but
existed,
not
for
really
sure,
what
but
you
not as
guys
a
were going.
cohesive
Yes,
unit.
right.
Yeah.
So we have the grind roaster. We interviewed a coffee shop in Bluffton, South Carolina near Hilton Head.
Okay.
And the question really was,
no.
how do you do your coffees? They got into a
And this will
distribution
be
way to do
playing
coffee. But if we have somebody
nonstop.
from South Carolina that calls you, Rick,
Yeah.
or Andrew,
Mhm.
what do they do? How do they reach you? They say, I'd like to open a store like that.
Yeah, we got to get that out.
How would they get a
Several
franchise
times.
like this up and running? How would you help them? What would
So
Right.
first thing you do, and I think research is definitely important here. You need to know what you're getting into because it is a newer style of a model. We don't really have a whole bunch. I don't think we found any competitors that do what we do.
And that was what I was talking to you about a
Absolutely.
minute ago when you first said we're going to launch this.
We have those that are liquor stores out there. We have a couple bottle shops now popping up the last few years for the craft beer. We have in some unique locations like Gatlinburg or New Orleans. You have this sauce bar business, but you don't have anything where you have all the flavor in one room. And that's really what we're doing. We're bringing all the flavor into one room and hosting events about it. Barbecue school, beer school, whiskey school. What we're doing right now, we do it 3 times a week at our shop. You know, with our
So those are
customers.
planned times, right, where
Yeah.
you can come
Absolutely.
in and do that.
Yeah,
What do those hours look like if somebody
Yeah, if
says,
somebody wants
So
to-
we're open daily from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. Sundays till 6. But one funny thing, so we do events on Wednesdays, Thursdays, sometimes Saturdays.
events? I mean,
Events could be beer school, barbecue school, whiskey school. We bring in renowned pit masters who come in.
Wow.
We've had whole hog butchery classes.
Wow.
All these
now, do
great
people
things.
then get online and sign up? Is that kind
Yeah,
of what
they
you want?
can
So
RSVP. A lot of them are free. Some of them have small fees
Yeah,
to
right.
cover costs.
Right,
But,
exactly.
most are free.
He's got another product here we want to talk about.
yeah,
What-
these pickles are. Get your water ready.
what is
You
really-
can't scare me, Andrew. Come on.
The audience knows we're just jumping from topic to topic.
I know.
We are all over the place.
Are we okay with that?
But that's
we're
okay.
hitting a lot
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
Well, the audience is looking and they're going, oh, they're getting hungry right now. That's
Yeah,
what's
I
going
know.
on.
I know.
Which one
So
is
what
this,
is
Rick?
that? Yeah, like
is
Scott
the
said, hold it up to the camera.
Bad news, blazing pickle.
Those are the things.
Bad news.
And again, you have named all these.
Well,
So
things, right?
that
These are all
1950s theme, like we'll look on an encyclopedia or
Really?
a
What's-
thesaurus of names from the 50s, things,
So
slang
that's
terms from the
pickles in a
50s.
sauce.
And so, what was that slang?
Some kind of
What was-
saute
So,
thing, right?
You know,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you at this point. We like alliteration with the bad news and the blazing.
Yeah.
You know, we
Words.
develop
Yeah.
and that's the fun thing that I mentioned earlier. What are we going to do? Well, we might have a wild hair, and one day we spend 30 minutes because we're feeling creative and come up with 15 new names for sauces
Wow.
and then assign them, you know.
Do you have like a group that develops the sauce once you come up
Look
with the
at that.
idea? What
Yeah,
happened?
so we work with
the
a ton
farm
of
melt or what?
That's spice right there on that
we
fork.
work with a ton of different
that is
Okay.
producers and co-packers.
Those are warm.
Yeah,
They're good.
They're hot.
very good.
As you've
In
noticed,
fact,
I haven't
if
taken a bite
if I
yet.
don't get to that level, I'm probably
they're
gone
hot,
by
man.
now.
They're hot.
So I'm happy.
That's why I'm the beer guy. I have
Yeah,
to protect
yeah.
my delicate palate.
Yeah, I know.
Delicate.
But no, those are warm. Those are good. In fact, I would highly recommend somebody that hasn't tried what would then be
He's having a hard time with it. You can tell.
the whole pickle
That's
experience.
why I'm saying
no,
I'm
yeah, I know.
impressive.
If they haven't tried the pickle experience with the hot to it, this is the pickle experience.
Jim, you're red.
You're missing. I know. I'm getting warm, but I like it.
Yeah, and it's not
Again, I'm
it's not a
happy.
bread and butter. It's a
No, it's a
dill and
it's a-
spice.
and run to something to cool you off.
Get some crackers or some tortilla chips. Huh?
Yeah.
This falls into our kind of our unique brand flavor, which is, again, I said earlier, that sweet heat. When you first taste this pickle, it has a little bit of that sugar, a little bit of that sweetness on it, and then the heat comes in. We have 4 heat levels, right?
Uh-huh.
The first heat level is bourbon infused, pretty much a sweet pickle with a hair of heat, but almost none. The next one is what we use in our sandwiches in our shops. That's going to be high five hot pickles. They're a sweet heat. They're pretty much heavier toward the sweet, but a little bit of heat. These then go the opposite way. A little bit of sweet, heavier on the heat for the bad news. And then the 4th level is
I'm afraid to ask.
Inferno.
I'm afraid to ask.
Pretty
So
much
there-
only heat.
So it's hot. It's another level
There's
up
a
from
next
that.
level.
It's double hot, that.
And you
Double
don't have
hot.
that with
This
you,
is
do you?
15. No.
Good, because I'm glad I don't have to do it just to show I can. And
Right.
so I'm good. That's
Well, that's
as high as
why
I'm going today.
I got the oddball apple. It's a little sweet. Might take
yeah.
away some of that heat.
So what does this do here?
So this is
Now,
a
what is
rub.
this one?
This is a rub, and a rub is important when you're getting your food prepared. It can caramelize on your ribs. It can season your
that
pizzas or your
flavor,
pastas.
amazing.
People think rubs and seasonings. People think rubs and seasonings are for steak and or they use like salt and pepper. Well, it's not true. It could be. We have some that go on, like I said, pastas and salads and vegetables and all kinds of different kinds of
You
foods.
could be skillet fried potatoes that you could put that on
Exactly. And this one's called Oddball, again, 50s word, Oddball, Smoke and Apple Rub. So if you're going to smoke your meat with apple chips, you want a complimentary rub on your meat that's going to complement the smoke and the apple flavor of that wood. So you would get, okay, I'm going to smoke with apple today. I'm going to get the smoke and apple rub, and I'm going to get the apple bacon barbecue. Or I'm going to get some other kind of complement to the flavor you're already producing.
Exactly.
Now, barbecue, most people can't tell 100%, is this cherry wood that smoked this? Was this oak? They have a hard time telling. But if you can complement that wood flavor with the rub and the sauce, now you have something that really comes.
There's another competitor out there that I think you do better than, which I think is called Sugar Fire.
Yeah, they're
And I don't like the way they do that. They have you come to your table and you have all these bottles of sauces, and you never get a chance to anybody explain it to you.
Oh,
are you just throw it on the meat, and which do you just go random?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, "Oh, I love it here," and I said, "I don't love it because they're not explaining it to me."
Well, you need to come to a barbecue school at BeerSauce. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're invited.
There you go. That's right. Get them on the schedule.
Why not? I mean,
That's right.
I'm old, but I can be taught. I can be taught.
That's comment of the show so far.
You have another.
I'm old, but I can be taught.
No, that's true. Hey, you got other categories here. Let's talk about some of this other
Yeah,
wonderful
so we
stuff.
started moving into the rubs.
Wait,
I want you to try this rub. This was the Uncle Ed's rub. Now, this is
Uncle Ed.
my sister's husband, so my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
The kids all call him Uncle Ed. And his rub, this is his rub from Texas. It has something like 13 ingredients. The average rub you're going to buy at the Walmart or whatever is going to be something like 4 or 5 ingredients. This has 13. It's really
Mostly salt.
We have another water in there. If
Those
you
are
need
not
water
this one.
too.
This
Yeah,
is not.
right. Well, no,
so
mostly salt.
one thing you'll note, if you pick up a lot of our rubs, they're going to be lighter. If you had one that's your general 4 ingredient, most of them are going to be salt.
Thank you.
And it's going to be very
And doesn't that make it cheaper?
So what-
It does, yeah.
And that
That
would be
rub
my
goes
guess
on-
is
that
why
rub
you're,
goes on
you're
the
gonna, the
chicken
main
and meat
ingredient's
before
going to be
it's
something
cooked.
that's
It's
gonna
not
be less
flavor,
expensive.
it's salt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So back to,
Wait a second. Taste that first.
I want to ask, what would this something like this
Tea
cost?
malice.
Oh, almost all of our sauces are $8.95.
Okay.
Buy 3 get 1 free. Brings the price down to be like $6.40 or something like that each.
And that's a lot of sauce.
You get good volume with us.
Yes,
the only
a
ones,
lot.
There's
Especially
a,
these guys.
There's a hair that might be 50 cents more or something like this because we're trying to get the price right. But almost all of them are $8.95. Buy 3 get 1 free. This one here we just tasted. This Uncle Ed's. You can get that.
That's a
sweet,
little sweeter.
Yes.
but it has
I
a
was gonna
tinge of a hint of a heat in the back.
I dipped my
That's
finger and I
good.
tasted. I could taste the sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And just a
because it
mild
hits you
kick.
first. That's sweet, but then there's more to come because that's
Right.
there's a lot in there. You got to kind of let it
Absolutely.
go through and everything
So
starts
let's
to show
go on
up,
to
right?
some more stuff here. What
So
else
the
you
Uncle
got?
Ed's is the base that's on the ribs that we're enjoying today.
Now what's this one, Rick?
This one's called Tony's Tangy Everything Sauce. And the reason we call-
Everything, so you can put it on anything.
well, if you,
Right.
I'm gonna, you know what
Yeah.
we're gonna do. You know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you taste this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you describe it to me, and
right.
then I'm gonna describe it to you, and
All
we're
right.
gonna see what we think.
Okay, all
Okay?
right.
This is a real taste test. It's
All right.
everything sauce, so you don't know what it should be for. Let's see what you think.
Okay.
All right, same thing. Come on, Sam.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What are you getting?
I'm getting it comes across with a sweetness that kind of and a kind of a saliva kind of thing, a sweetness, and then there's a mild kick built in on top of it, but you don't get the kick until you get the sweetness first. So you get the sweetness and it permeates then the a little salt, but not a hot burn. It's
No,
just
no.
a mild burn. So it's got a mix of sweet and a mild burn, but it's not like pow, it's a mild burn right away. It kind of comes to you in layers.
I'm getting, and I'm gonna think. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this from a third person tasting.
Yep.
I like the texture. You get
Yes.
those tiny little pebbles in there.
Yes.
Give you a little bit of a texture in
Yeah,
your
I got
mouthfeel.
that.
Yep.
I really like that because it makes you feel like you're getting something of substance.
Right.
I like
Agreed.
that it has that sweet barbecue effect. And then, like you said, almost a hot sauce input at the very
Sneaks
end.
up on you at the
Yes.
end.
And then you're like thinking about it and tasting it after a while. And you even get a hint of like a tomato. And so it's almost like in everything, a barbecue hot sauce combination with a little bit, maybe even some fruit in there of that sweetness.
There was a
yes.
sweet, I couldn't
What do you think?
exactly figure out what the
That
sweetness
is.
was.
Yeah, it's a unique one. It could be a fry sauce. This would do really well on ribs if you lay down a spicier rub and you want to
I'm
pull
gonna
that
do
back.
it right now on
It could
the
do
ribs.
really really well, especially when you get it glazed up and it gets nice and tacky on there. Fantastic.
Try that one again.
I like that.
Okay,
That
what
was
is
good.
this one called?
That's
This is the one.
Tony, is this Tony's Tangy Everything Sauce?
Yeah.
Is that the one you just poured before?
Yeah,
All right, I'll
Yeah,
do it,
I'm
I'll
already
do
done
it
with
again.
mine.
Here, Jim.
That was good.
double up on
I
it.
really like it. On the
is.
ribs. It is great. So this is what we do. You know, and I'm not even joking. This is kind of like our day.
Yeah.
Tasting sauces, trying new ingredients, trying to see what works well together. And this is just the sauce side. I really want to hear about the beer side.
Yeah. Come on, Andrew.
Well, we gotta try the sweetest sugar first.
Oh, you gotta
He's
keep
not
going
ready
more
yet. No,
sauces.
he's not. Yeah.
I want to do this one. This one's one of my go-tos.
Now this is really an important rub, and I want to show this to the camera. This is an important rub. It's sweet as sugar. The carbs in here, total carbs, less than 1 gram. Wait, I can't read that. The lights-
I told you I was younger. Yeah.
Anyway,
Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's very,
Here, bring that over
very
here.
low carb.
very low. And if you're doing a keto diet, or you're doing these no sugar diets, or you're doing the protein diets, you need to take sugar out of your diet. But you can't get rubs and barbecues
Oh, that is.
without
So-
the sugar. This is an
Oh.
option for you.
Oh.
It's that sweet and savory all
That is.
together.
You know what I didn't know anything about is rubs. I'm like now in high school, almost into college now on rubs because I mean I showed up as really didn't know anything. But
The rubs are
when you can kind of taste them and explain them,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on there.
good.
There's more salt in here. It has some sweetness. It's
Yeah.
it's a good barbecue rub when you're barbecuing.
Really good. But I don't think rubs get very much attention by the average customer. They don't. Who are you going to talk to? Who's kind of giving you the hey? Here's options for you. You just don't know. It's just if I walk by the aisle and I see something, I might be interested. But isn't that really the pretty standard buying experience? And,
think-
and that doesn't really do much for you because you don't know any
Well,
really any more than when you bought it and went home with it.
sure.
Well, beer sauce again is a place for flavor, and if you're going to come in for the barbecue side, you're going to be, maybe you're smoking a brisket, maybe you're doing a turkey for Christmas, for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
maybe you're doing your
Ooh,
ham
there you
for Christmas,
go.
and what you need is you
Ooh,
need
yeah.
to get a little bit better of the flavors because you're impressing Uncle Ed, you're
Yeah.
impressing the
Yeah.
family. And
That's
so you come to Beer Sauce, we walk you through the flavors, we hook you up with the 4 that make the most sense for what you're doing,
Yep.
and then you end up being more of a culinary artist. People want to
And
do
then you
more
can
cooking.
expand off that.
Yeah.
Because that would be the natural thing.
Yeah, you
like
can create
I'm learning now, and then I have even more questions,
Well,
and
let's get
now
on.
I want to try this because I think I want to move over to something that's going to be a little different, and there's where you.
I want to hear about the beers. Let's
Explain
get
it, yeah.
into the beers. Why don't you take us through this, Andrew?
But
Yeah,
back to what
so-
I was just saying. But don't people do that to you though as they're progressing?
no,
too?
absolutely,
It's like
and-
you know what I'm already done all this, but now I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
and then you get into that
Dr.
conversation.
Stan said something earlier about that. He said he threw out an idea for a recipe. You could do skillet potatoes.
Yes, yes.
We're just thinking aloud.
It's so cool that the things that people do with our combination of this rub and this sauce
Yes,
and putting
yes.
it in things that we never thought we would hear from. It's really unique, and we've actually Rick and I have been talking about developing a beer sauce recipe book, wherein it we'll collect all the recipes that people have developed with our sauces and rubs, and then we'll pair them with a beer style recommendation. give,
How about
give
that?
all of
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Now
I-
you're talking about nice gifts for Father's
Absolutely.
Day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a diabetic, so I gotta
Christmas.
watch what I eat. And I'll
Sure.
do in the morning. I'll do Yukon Gold potatoes and eggs with some olive oil,
Yeah.
a little sprinkle of garlic salt. But I could see the possibility
Yeah, mix it
of
up.
sprinkling the potatoes and then do or the potatoes pan fry them using this, and then adding the eggs to the side.
Sure.
And I think even if you didn't put any sausage or anything else on the table, you still get the flavor of this.
Exactly.
You know, so you could. It's multi-dimensional. You can do more than one thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the cool thing is the pairing of the food, and that was part of the impetus behind BeerSauce.
I'm gonna hand you this also.
What do you do when you're grilling most of the time?
Thank you.
I'm having a beer when I'm grilling.
Of
I'm staying
course.
outside on the heat.
Yeah.
I got to replenish my fluids, and I'm doing that through a beer.
Yes.
Maybe not the best thing, but that's kind of where,
But that's
where it
part
kind of
of it.
flows
Yeah,
together.
Here.
So on the beer side of things, we have our sauce bar that Rick mentioned, which holds up to, rotationally 200 sauces. So you're going to see a lot of those sauces, and we've noticed that the sauce side is a thing of its own. Originally, we kind of mimicked the beer side. On the beer side, I'll bring in, as you read in the article, something like 50 to 60 cases of beer a week, let's say. Of those, about a quarter of them are going to be brand new, limited. Maybe we're the only place in St. Charles County that gets them. Heck, it could be the only place in the world that's getting them. We just had our team, our friends Narrow Gauge. They're from the Florissant, Missouri area. Great brewery, started in the basement of Cugino's, a nice Italian restaurant, sports bar, who was serving Bud Light. Well, they found this great home brewer named Jeff Hardesty, and he and his wife have created this awesome brewery doing New England style IPAs. So
What is IPA?
So IPA is an India Pale Ale. So it's going to be
Okay.
actually the largest section at most beer sauce shops. We'll feature almost 200 IPAs in most stores out of 600. So that's our biggest section. So an IPA is popular American craft beer style, has been since the beginning. You see evolution in that. Now we're looking at New England style IPA. So a New England IPA is going to be hazy. It's not going to be clear. It's going to have an addition of oats to it. It's going to add a mouthfeel. Almost think of drinking orange juice. It has that characteristic.
Okay.
If it's done right.
So this is what Narrow Gauge has done extraordinarily well. I mean, we're talking top 10 in the world in this style. So they're awesome. We've known these guys since the beginning. So when they wanted to distribute, guess who got the beers first? BeerSauce. So all 4 of our stores got those beers, and that was the only place outside the Narrow Gauge you could get those cans.
We don't want to run out of time, so I want to make sure we get these other things highlighted.
Sure.
Do we
I
need
know
any
I'm-
commercial breaks, or are we good?
I think we can go to break. We'll go to break, and then we can stay.
Yeah,
with
we had a
the
nice
beers.
Sure.
All right, let's go to break, Scott.
sample.
Commercial Energy Consultants is a 10-year-old national company focusing on middle to large commercial accounts. CEC offers these companies services by lowering their electric and natural gas rates. CEC does not charge for this service and has over 10,000 happy clients with almost 2 billion kWh/therm under contract. What makes CEC different is their reverse auction. Commercial Energy Consultants offers a way to have available suppliers in 17 states bid openly for your energy business. Our mission is clear: bring our clients the low bid for their energy consumption. In fact, because our competitive auction does renew an energy contract without talking to us, why pay more for the exact same power? For more information, go to www.trycec.com or call 877-212-1400. That's www.trycec.com or call 877-212-1400.
Too late, you're hacked. Defending your small business computers and networks is a new book written for small businesses with a limited understanding of IT with cybersecurity challenges. This book introduces critical IT terms and concepts and is intended for owners or professionals handling their business IT department with narrow expertise. Even though one may think cybersecurity is taken care of, understand that cybersecurity requires ongoing management and knowledge that extends beyond the everyday IT. Businesses are vulnerable and may permanently close within 6 months after a breach by failing to understand and implement proper cybersecurity defenses. Author Tony Zafropoulos is a systems computer expert of 10+ years and a certified information systems auditor. Tony uses his strong IT background to protect your computers and networks against cyber attacks. To order your book, go to fixvirus.com. That's fixvirus.com.
The It's Your Business Show is brought to you by Promo Experts. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture with marketing promotion tools and services. And by Publishing Concepts. Let Publishing Concepts LLC help you get your publishing project off the ground. It's Your Business is an informative weekly small business topic radio show for you, the listeners, to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to owning and operating your very own small business. Whether you're starting your own business or already a successful entrepreneur, then listening to how others succeed can help you be successful. Okay, audience, here are your hosts, Dr. Stan Fine and Jim Jump.
The 1,200,000 women and men of Rotary have accomplished extraordinary things. They've taught millions of people to read, worked toward world peace, and have nearly eradicated a crippling childhood disease from the face of the planet. But each of those 1,200,000 women and men know they could accomplish so much more if only they were 1,200,001. Find out what an impact one person can make. Learn about Rotary at Rotary.org.
Commercial Energy Consultants is a 10-year-old national company focusing on middle to large commercial accounts. CEC offers these companies services by lowering their electric and natural gas rates. CEC does not charge for this service and has over 10,000 happy clients with almost 2 billion kWh/therm under contract. What makes CEC different is their reverse auction. Commercial Energy Consultants offers a way to have available suppliers in 17 states bid openly for your energy business. Our mission is clear: bring our clients the low bid for their energy consumption. In fact, because our competitive auction does renew an energy contract without talking to us, why pay more for the exact same power? For more information, go to www.trycec.com or call 877-212-1400. That's www.trycec.com or call 877-212-1400.
All right, audience, welcome back. You're listening to the It's Your Business Show. We come to you every day from 9 to 11 on the My Genre Network. We are also in St. Louis, on KMTC St. Louis. We're there also from 9 to 11. And we're also doing some airtime on Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio. And who are our guests today that are going to help us wrap the show up today?
Well, we've got the BeerSauce guys, and they have Rick Dury and Andrew Tesser have walked us through a whole session, if they're just tuning in, on the sauces, the rubs, and so we did a taste test, and I think through that, I don't think we didn't not educate as well as possible. Just what's behind it, how do you come up with it, what's working, how do you know that? I think that's the entire experience we're talking about. Because you just can't say, oh no, this is good, here, you just take that. That's part of coming to see you guys. Walking in the store, sitting down, family experience, try this, what do you think, what else would you like? And then let's talk about that. So I think that was a real good part of the first half of the show.
We're doing it also for people that want to do a franchise with these gentlemen. And Andrew, why don't you? You're the beer guy.
Yeah.
Is that who you are?
Yeah, that's the title. Very official title. So
very.
we're called BeerSauce. We're pretty literal guys, so we say what we do.
Yeah.
And we mean it. So
Yep.
Rick's a sauce guy. He sometimes introduces himself as Sauce. You want to say his name, Sauce? We've got the hockey. hockey jerseys that say it. So,
I know.
I'm the beer guy.
And
He's
we'll
the sauce
bring
guy.
those out next time we have you on.
Absolutely,
We got to
yeah.
show some
Get
stuff that people
some cooler
can
weather.
Yeah, so they can
The
get
old
their.
hockey sweaters. But we've also
their
got
version of it.
baseball jerseys coming too, which are
See?
really neat.
All right, so that's a teaser for next time.
It is,
That'll
it
be
is.
another reason
Check
to
back,
tune in.
but-
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I'm the beer side of BeerSauce. So we work collectively, but we both have our areas of expertise, both on the business acumen side and also on the product knowledge side. So so we have a study group studying to become cicerone. So a cicerone is like a sommelier for beer. So sommelier is to wine, cicerone is to beer. So it's you have to be able to identify ingredients, flavor profiles, all of this. And Rick has been a part of this even a year before we started the store. We had a group of 10 to 12 guys who were studying for this. We got together. We would come across all the different 50 plus styles of beer that exist, and we would put together a PowerPoint presentation and teach it to the others. We would bring examples. Of course, there was drinking when it's beer.
Sure.
So we had to
Right.
test it and taste it.
You can't
and
just
talk
tell
about
me.
it
I gotta
really,
try it for
really
myself.
understand it. So that's one thing that's different, that we were both comfortable with. The family part of BeerSauce is that you're enjoying the flavor. You're not drinking for an outcome. You're drinking to enjoy the flavor. Now, relaxing a little bit, that's fine. But we don't promote overindulgence. We promote responsible drinking and enjoying what you're drinking. But really, the unique thing about the Cicerone is knowing the beer style. So I may not have had this beer, but I can tell you general notes of it. So for instance, this beer, we were talking before the break about New England style IPAs. So that was new 3-5 years ago. Now we're moving to what we call a milkshake New England IPA. So you've got that same base of a New England, which is going to be a thicker mouthfeel than orange juice, and then we're adding milk sugar, lactose to it. Sounds weird. It doesn't have a flavor. It gives you a mouthfeel. It thickens that up, just like some of the sauces we're doing. That viscosity changes the whole profile. So this milkshake IPA, this is done with orange. So they've added orange and milk sugar. This is a local to St. Louis brewery called Center Ice. They're hockey themed. Opened up when the Blues won. So talk about great marketing and good luck for these guys. So
Yes.
very
Center
cool.
Ice Brewing.
So generally, when you come in the store, all of our staff they're beer nerds. That's a self-inflicted term where we're saying we're nerds. We get geeky about it. We love to get. We probably checked in on Untappd, which is a beer app that you can track all the beers that you've had. We've got one of our great employees at St. Peter's. I mean, the guy must have had. He's had 4 times more beers than I ever had through traveling and all of this. So when you come in, for example, we have someone saying, "Hey, my buddy loves this style of beer." Okay, great. Has he had? We'll name a couple that he's had that you know of. Okay, this is this. Our folks can go in and pull 12 examples of beers from the shelf and say, "Boom, take this home." Oh, by the way, when you buy 12, you get the 13th free. So boom, now he gets to try something new for himself.
Right.
So our model is very unique in that at BeerSauce, everything's individual by the can. You don't have to buy a 4-pack. You don't have to buy a 6-pack. That's really a unique thing. Now, you may pay a slight premium, but for the amount of service that you're getting, well worth it, and you can buy one at a time. Craft beer is not like your domestic 30-pack of Busch beer. I like Busch. It's a fine beer. It's a good example of the style. But I want more flavor, It's McDonald's versus a filet mignon. Sometimes you want a filet.
Yeah.
So that's what we give to people is hand-holding, letting them know, hey, this is a sour ale. It's actually done on Chardonnay grapes. Again, milk sugar's in this one too, that lactose. So this one's going to have that bitterness. This is going to drink like a wine. So this is going to be a different profile. So the really unique thing is people can shop one at a time, buy 12, get the 13th free. We have great people who can tell you exactly what the beer is going to taste like. And they may not have had that can, but they know the brewery, they know the style, they can read, some of the ingredients that are added in there. And most of our people with the employees with their shift beer, they're trying something new every single shift. So they're keeping up. They know their stuff.
Well, like he said, they may not have had that exact beer. Well, the reason is because we get 100 new beers in every month.
Yeah.
That we've never even seen before or heard
Really?
of.
Where do you get them from, Rick?
All distributors, 2/3, we try to keep at least 2/3 on the shelf from the region. And then sometimes we get stuff from the Colorado breweries or the Michigan breweries or other kind of unique craft breweries that are distributing out of state, but mostly it's local. And this is an important thing, 100 new beers in the shop that we've never seen before every month. And that's an endless flow of new flavor. That's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on trying something new, getting new styles on the shelf that we've never even heard of before. Like you said, cutting edge, knowing what's coming and getting that to come in the shop.
And when you
Absolutely.
also, if you just think of mentioning the 30-pack and the limited of what was available on the market a while ago, but the emergence of the microbrewery really then allowed for all this to
Oh,
happen.
100%.
I mean, without that, you really didn't have
No.
the individualized
for sure.
portion of this.
When I was studying psychology in college, we were talking about the behavioral response of people to with the stimuli, whatever it is.
Sure.
We've also looked at television, and it was Joe, the plumber, with his 6-pack,
Right.
heading out of back to down a 6-pack to take the edge off for the day.
Sure.
And beer has moved into this different genre,
Absolutely.
where now it's an eclectic tasting experience. Right.
Very much so.
Now, wine has been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
You could buy, you'd have a sommelier. They'd come in, they would, 6 of you could buy an event, and they would give you different tastes of different wines. So you could buy a case of each wine. And they started marketing themselves that way. So, but in your store, don't you have tasting? Did I read that wrong?
Yeah,
We
no, you're
have
absolutely correct.
tasting
So
events?
we have 600 plus packaged single cans in our store. In addition, I like to call it a walking around beer. So you go up to the beer bar, you look at 16 beers on draft,
Right.
all unique styles. I'll have one of those. Well, guess what? You got a beer in hand. Now you get a shop for beer. I mean, it's the perfect shopping experience.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, it's like
So-
taking your dog to get a treat in the store.
Exactly,
Nothing bad here. I've had animals. I'm just thinking about that.
Absolutely.
Take your dog to the store and let him pick out a treat.
100%.
I know,
And
it's
you know,
funny.
you have a beer, maybe you have a second one. You know, the basket gets full pretty quick with all the sauces. You're loading up.
That's
so
smart. That's a
we've
smart
got
move.
the craft beer on the shelf. We got the craft beer behind the bar. One of the things that we saw as a connecting to bourbon, you know, as people, as their tastes develop and they age into having maybe a little bit more finances, a lot of times the whiskey is a little bit, because it's an aged product, it's gonna cost a little bit more. And what we found is a lot of craft beer drinkers, as they age up, they start drinking some bourbons. They like to do some craft cocktails. So we saw the bourbon market as something that we wanted to attach to, versus gin, tequila, vodka, wine, what it may be. This is something that we found in the vein of our normal customer is another leg of the business that could do very well. So behind the bar and on the shelf, we have 60 plus bourbons, whiskeys, and the like. We like to do 50% of those local, regional, and the other ones small, craft, hard to get, allocated, awesome bourbons. You can also taste all the bottles behind the bar. So you can come into a whiskey flight, select 3 bottles. Let's say you have in your mind you want to take home a bottle. I want to do that one, that one, that one. Have a little taste of each. Decide on it. Walk out with the bottle. You know, just like on the sauce, you know what you're going home with.
Right.
I want to tell the audience that when you're listening to this or looking at it, they will help you, I assume, in the region to pick out your mix of what you have in your store. When these people call you to become franchisees, you're going to guide them through the selection.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever go regional in the bourbons and beers? When you, let's say you
100%.
get a call from Columbus, Ohio, would you regionalize product from there or give them a total mix of all the regions? I mean, how does that work?
Every event's different. Sometimes we do local only. Sometimes we do bourbon only. Sometimes we do a special invitation for our rum school. Those are less common, but we try to. So we do focus schools depending on what flavor we're trying to attract people to and have them educated on. It's not about what we think is what we want to taste today. It's about what we think the customers are interested in and how to help them get that flavor profile learned more. Our model is shop, taste, learn. So you're shopping, there's the retail, there's the taste, which is the sauce bar and the beer bar, and then there's the learning, which is all the schools. If we don't have the schools, then we're not giving, in our opinion, we're not giving our services to the community the way we need to. We need to teach about lore and history and where these things come from, and ingredients, and how to pair together. I'm a huge fan of the deep cultural history knowledge that comes from beer in largely Germany and England, that comes from whiskey with Scotland and also in Kentucky. We like this history that we teach in our schools, and people eat it up. There's a literal and a figurative.
Right.
Well, I can see the advantage of educating people so they're just not buying an over-the-counter product.
Sure.
You actually are giving them another dimension of the buying experience.
Yeah, one of my favorites we do the beer school. So we bring in a rep or a brewer, Center Ice, who I brought up. We've had their brewer out before. He talks about the ingredients, kind of higher level. And then I mentioned the term beer nerd. Well, we do a class wherein we were studying before we opened. We dive into one particular style. For example, now it's Oktoberfest Marzen beer. So we're going to talk about the history. We're going to do a deep dive on what ingredients they're using, why they brew it, why it's called this, when it was first brewed. So really, really cool stuff. But you mentioned, Dr. Stan, about when we move into a store, let's say we franchise in Columbus, Ohio, for instance. So part of the BeerSauce franchising is the BeerSauce boot camp. So we're going to teach you all the things. We're going to teach you, how do I find X beer? Well, how do you find your distributors first? Because beer is a three-tier system. You make it, someone sells it to the consumer. So you have to go through a distributor for the most part. So one of the things we do in that is say, okay, well, you're an entrepreneur. How do you find out who's there? Well, Google's a good tool. So that's the first step, is we help them develop their list. Now we'll come in behind and say, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this brewery? You definitely want to have this for your region. But yeah, we have a good basis of beers that are going to be regional, or maybe they're in Missouri, but they have great distribution of, say, 30 states, let's say, some of the bigger breweries. Right. So yeah, that's one of the things that in franchising, we walk people through every single step of the business. I mean, we don't have a book to promote, but we have a franchise, and that means we wrote a book on BeerSauce.
There you go. There you go.
BeerSauce.
So where all are you right now? So you're in St. Louis, we know.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
In Kansas City.
We're talking with investors in Indianapolis heavily.
Okay.
Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
We have had calls for both places in Iowa and Kansas and Arkansas. We don't mind where we go. Wherever the entrepreneur wants to open up and BeerSauce makes sense, then we're open to go there and help them with that. Okay. Because we're about bringing flavor to the people, and wherever the people are, they need flavor.
That's right. Exactly. Right. Your work is there's a lot to be done. So
you take that.
Yeah. Now on the franchise side, I think people generally know what franchising means. You have a model, and you kind of you follow the model because it's already proven to be successful. So that takes a lot of the I don't know if I can really do this because risk and reward. Am I willing to risk everything to be out there? And so the franchise kind of gives you a little more security, right? And
Absolutely.
So with that, what
on that note, when we opened up our first year, we spent $1,000 a month on marketing, learning how all those thousands of dollars didn't get us the customers.
Yeah.
And so we spent $12,000 the first year that didn't get us any customers. And with a franchise model, we teach you how to spend $100 a month and get all the customers. So it's learning.
So you've done all, you've done it all.
We spent our money and we did our failures in the first year, so our franchisee doesn't have to.
So when we talk about the investment revenue potential, somebody in Ohio that's listening to this today, what would you tell them? Well, I mean, Bobby says, you got that, but what does that do for me financially? I'm looking at other things. Why would they pick this? What's the opportunity here?
When you're starting a business, there's a couple primary things you want to go for. You don't want to start a business because somebody else made a lot of money on it, because maybe it's not duplicatable. Maybe it is, and there's all these question marks about that. Really, what you want to do is you want to say, what do people want that I am excited to provide? That's what you want to ask. So it's less about will it make $1 million tomorrow, and more about how can the customers keep coming back and I can have a good life and enjoy myself.
Yes.
Right.
Because if people are coming back and you're enjoying, you're going to stay in business and make money. That the money is almost secondary to the primary focus, which is give the people what they want and do something that you can continually smile and have a good time doing.
Right.
You're right.
And because
You're right.
if you're making a little bit more money but hating your life, you're gonna stop.
That's right.
So you don't want to do that. But if you're also not getting the customers to come back because they don't like what you're offering, you're also not going to stay in. So the first primary place is customers and your life experience. So BeerSauce gives people who are into this industry of craft and farmers markets and brewing and home brewing, other kinds of really artistic creation. It gives them a business that makes sense for what they're interested in and what the communities are going toward, which is the experiential retail. How to compete with Amazon? Give people an experience and they're going to come in and shop with you.
I agree.
So give people what they want with experiential retail and give you what you need, which is an artistic expression of your craft side and your artisan side and your barbecuing and your home brewing. That's really the kind of person that we're looking for. If you are loving any of these products in your own life and you want to start a business, then BeerSauce is something for you.
Yeah.
The Small Business Administration did a national study on what businesses are the most profitable in America today. And in the top 5, food and beverage came into the top 5. Maybe it was number 2 or 3. I don't know. But anyway, so you're hitting the heart of small business America. I assume you're going after the small business owner.
Right.
So is there a particular size that's too big or too small, or
most franchises that open up are between $300,000 and $500,000 to open up. A lot of them are a lot more. And to open a BeerSauce, it's between $150,000 and $190,000, depending on where your opening is. Your facility too big? Is it built out too much? I mean, there's all these different.
Right.
But you can get by with $160,000, $170,000 to open up a shop.
How big is
that's approachable for a lot of people.
About
yes,
2,000,
Square feet.
maybe 1,800 to 2,300 is kind of the sweet spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our Kansas City stores are small store yet at precisely 2,000 square feet.
2,000 square feet.
So it's a retail space that's you can acquire that pretty easy. Affordable lease rates at those things. At those.
Yep.
The business model is straightforward. There's no dentist certifications you have to get to open. You can do this if you have a passion for craft.
And you need to acquire, normal licensing. The liquor licensing is something that as part of that boot camp will help with, but it's not a difficult process.
And you're going to be part of that, getting them ready to open and be there for that opening kind of a thing, I guess. Yeah.
I think we're actually much more hands-on franchisors than others that are out there.
Okay.
We care about our family, our people who join us. They're part of BeerSauce. They're on the team.
Yeah. And one of the things I think that
them.
we've always been very good stewards of everyone's investment. I mean, we treat everyone's investment as if it's ours, because we inevitably
because if they don't make it, then it's not a good reflection.
Well,
So success is everything.
Here's a golden question: from all we've discussed today, what have you found are key components of why you've been such a successful entrepreneur, and why do you think franchising is a good way to enter the market as a new entrepreneur? Why do you think that? What's going on?
Well, to enter the market, I'll go to that second part first. When an entrepreneur is first coming to market, which a lot of people who are coming to our door to open a BeerSauce shop, they are kind of first-time entrepreneurs.
Sure.
Yep.
It's not 100%, but there is a good percentage of them that are first-time entrepreneurs. BeerSauce is something that you can come into where the model is pretty straightforward. It's new and different in its ways, but it's something that people can relate with. So someone can come in and have this be their first business, and it's not far out in left field to them. They can relate with it, and they can be successful in it. So that's something that I would point to and say a new entrepreneur, maybe ready to get out of the corporate world, maybe ready to get out of the machinist job, wanting to take their home brewing or their barbecuing to a corner shop and make it a community hub of flavor. That's what we are. We're a community hub for flavor, and we're a destination location.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's where BeerSauce succeeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you become the flavor guru of your town. That's kind of what you are. You're
there's
the expert.
more small businesses than there are big ones in America.
Oh, tons
Absolutely.
more. Yeah.
90% of America are small business.
And I would say the first part of your question, what's unique about ours, why is it successful, is it's a lot of work, first of all. But I think BeerSauce in particular, the potential for big profitability comes from those four legs that our business stands on. It's not just a bottle shop. It's not just a bar. It's not just that. And that's another thing that through the COVID times when things were shut down.
That's a good point.
We quickly pivoted and we had curbside pickup available for folks. People were drinking beers in those times. So that's one of the really unique things. And in normal times, in pandemic times and recession time, people are going to find money for the things that they want, that bring them joy, that are affordable luxuries.
And this is a weekly thing. This is not I buy something and then I'm good for
that's actually
a while.
That's a very good point. We actually were going to do a hot sauce, primarily sauce bar, because I was huge into hot sauces, and we found out right away that customers buy a hot sauce and it stays in their fridge for 6 months. They buy a barbecue sauce and they use it that weekend.
You're making a slab of ribs, boom, bottle of sauce you're using on that.
Yeah. So we moved to what the customers use and what they want. And you mentioned franchisees; they get the benefit of all of our, I wouldn't call mistakes maybe, but learning experience.
Yeah, right.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, because that's what they are. How about your contact? Show's not over yet, but I want to make sure if somebody's watching or listening, they can quickly get a hold of you.
Best way, BeerSauceShop.com. There's going to be a franchising button in the menu on the website. Just click that. There's a 1 minute video.
Good.
There's a 3 minute video. There's a 7 minute video.
Oh, my.
Maybe we'll
all
get,
the minutes.
Maybe we'll get this video on there. You can delve as deep as
We
you
can
want.
tell you this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So this is going to air on television. So we got to this next week. This video at 2 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, is going to be on God Family Country Television Network. That's one of them. And 6 p.m. every day, this one is going to be on the Reel, REEL television network. And it's if you type those words in, you'll see the click to how to get to it.
Right.
And then you can just play the show then. And it's going to play for 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
So if you want to see it on Monday or Thursday and show your family, the show's going to keep replaying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So
I'm going to restate it again. BeerSauceShop.com. And then go to the franchising section and you'll get all the info you want.
Go ahead.
There's a form that you can submit if you want. There's the Sauce Guy's phone number there.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to just
We're
give
easy
him a
to
ring.
reach. We're open.
Accessible,
Yes, we're
easy.
all the time.
We're doing the things. We're doing it.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. So
And what are
call
your
us.
days? You're open a week again, just as
7 days a week. We're paying rent 7 days a week.
Okay.
Might as well be open 7 days a week.
Well, yeah,
So,
you're right. I like that. I've never heard it explained that way, but that's very true. So you might as well be making money.
11 a.m. to
on
10
those 7
p.m.
days.
daily. Sunday 11 to 6. But yeah, we're open in store to serve barbecue that whole time. You can shop. You can enjoy a beer, a walking around beer. Do a whiskey flight, attend an event.
Sure.
On that BeerSauceShop.com, you're going to see all of our locations currently. That first page, you can tell events are important to us. That's on that homepage there. You're going to scroll through, see all the events. We do 2 to 3, maybe 4 a week. We've got our Bourbon Trail Festival coming up, which is really cool in St. Louis. It's the first time that we've had enough stores where we've done a third-party event off-site. So we're going to sell whiskey, and we're going to bring 15-plus distilleries from Missouri in. Folks are going to come out. We're going to have our beer sauce flavor wagon out there, which is a mobile version of beer sauce.
Yeah.
So we're super excited. We're moving. We're doing things. It's an exciting thing to be a part of. I mean, you're selling beer and sauce. What could
what could go wrong?
What's to complain about?
As one of our final questions is, can you tell us some of the moments that you've had as experiences by employees? You've exceeded expectation. You saw a jump in sales numbers or a case history. Is there some point you can share with us on things that have happened to you that
So-
are positive?
Something that we've noticed, and this is really key to BeerSauce's model. So anybody who's interested in the franchise option, this is really important. When we've offered something to the people, whether it's through our Facebook pushing notifications or however it's been, that's been really on point for what the customers want, they're going to buy it online and they're going to be all excited about it. We just opened our Kansas City store a few months ago, and we have already sold more tickets to our Bourbon Trail Fest in Kansas City than we ever did to our first one in St. Louis when we did it, because the people are right now ready for this craft bourbon industry. We also had a narrow gauge release. You can't get it anywhere. You get it with us only. Huge numbers of sales that weekend. The key is give people, the customers, the flavors they want. And if you're sensitive to those populations and those craft people, you're gonna do well and have a lot of fun. So that's what I would say is the big success is be sensitive and listen to those Facebook groups. You know, the bourbon focused, the barbecue focused, the beer focused groups. Listen to what they want and what they need. Communicate with them, talk with them, and then you're gonna be able to create the right events, the right kind of gatherings that they're gonna want to come to.
So, you know, Jim, you know what time it is?
What's that, Stan?
It's that time
We
to
wrap it up.
get on the beer, bourbon, sauce trail.
Yes,
And
that's right.
we want to
With
thank
our two leaders right here.
Rick and
Rick
Andrew.
and
We want to
Andrew.
thank you. As Jim has said, we hope you'll come back again and
Love
Yeah.
to.
come to our other studios too. And it's a real pleasure to have this experience.
And there's so much more that's going to happen between now and next time we see you. We can't wait
Yeah.
either, because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
just your week to week says it all.
Well, think about beer sauce for the holidays. This is a gift-giving haven.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So better get on this now, folks, and stop waiting around. It's right in front of you. These guys are going to help you. So I can't think of anything better we could do for our
Right.
audience than
Well, audience,
having these guys on today.
Thank you for being on the show. Gentlemen, thank you both for being on the show and
Thanks
the
for having
treats and the wonderful tastes.
Yes.
And we've had the beer sauce guys. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Beer sauce guys.
The originals right
The
here.
originals. And
originals.
hope you gave you a new flavor of experience. And
Yeah, that's right.
we hope to have you back again. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All right.
3, 2, 1, we're out.
Picture you two.
Sure.
The It's Your Business show is brought to you by Promo Experts. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture with marketing promotion tools and services. And by Publishing Concepts. Let Publishing Concepts LLC help you get your publishing project off the ground. It's Your Business is an informative weekly small business topic radio show for you listeners to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to owning and operating your very own small business. Whether you're starting your own business or already a successful entrepreneur, then listening to how others succeed can help you be successful. Okay, audience, here are your hosts, Dr. Stan Fine and Jim Jump.